Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of my review of the Inibuilds A340-300. Many thanks to all of you who have watched part number 1. Thanks for all the nice comments, and it felt really good to see that there is interest and that you want me to continue. So here I am with part 2. In the comments there were a few questions as well. I'd like to address at least one question I'd like to address regarding the ram air turbine. And another comment I read was regarding a graphic bug we can quickly check out here. So if you watch the look at the fuselage, here you can see Airbus A340-300, and below that should be the name of a city, of a German city, which is named Castrop-Rauxel, and apparently it has been in the wrong order. Thanks for reminding me. I didn't notice that at the first time, but yeah, so it is. Anyway, let's check out the ram air turbine. It's located on the right-hand side of the aircraft. Somebody already mentioned that in the comments. Thanks for that. And it's located inside of a flap fairing, namely this one here. Here you can see the jettison nozzle as well, and here you can see this little compartment. The cover is clearly visible, and just behind that is the ram air turbine, which delivers hydraulic pressure and electricity in case of major failure. So what are we going to do today? I thought we should have a look inside the flight deck, see if all the switches are working and what we can do there. And I would say let's get into the flight deck. Okay, here we are. Everything is dark, of course, because we don't have any electricity at the aircraft. So just a quick overview. My apologies for this view, but it's kind of hard. I'm not that good at all the controls that the simulator, Microsoft Simulator, is offering, so I have to just give all the things a try and see if we can manage to cover everything. But here we can see the overhead panel. Just up here you have some, they look like circuit breakers, but they are not circuit breakers in the classical way, or if you know these from the Airbus A320, these are reset switches on the A340. And then we go further down. Oops, wait a second. Okay, here we have cockpit door controls. These look a little bit different from the ones I'm used to. This is the ADIRS panel, apparently. We will switch them on in a second. And then you have the APU panel with the test and the fire switch, flight controls. And this is the jettison panel. If you have to get rid of fuel, you can do it there. Then we have this one, the evac panel, which is there, but basically not being used as far as my company is concerned. Sorry, I need to turn around again. All right, where were we? Then we have the GPWS panel with the respective switches, so you can switch off the glide slope mode or the flap mode. Terrain function can be switched on or off, or the whole system can be switched off. We have the flight recorder ground control, which means that if you push this, you have to push this during the cockpit preparation. And then the flight recorder starts recording. Oxygen masks for the passengers. This is the call panel, so you can call the mechanic downstairs, the flight crew rest, the cabin crew rest, and these are the respective doors. So this is the purser. This is door 1, 2, 3, and 4, of course, yeah. Then the wiper switch for the windshield wiper and rain repellent. It's a fluid you can spray on the window to sort of get rid of some dirt. Okay, this up here is for maintenance. And here we have the fire panel for the engine. So all the fire switches. Here are the discharge switches for the bottles. And here we have the hydraulic panel. So all the 3 hydraulic systems. You can see the green system, which is the most important one, is being pressurized by engine 1 and engine 4, and the blue engine 2 and the yellow by engine 3. Then we have the fuel system with all the tank pumps, but I get into that later. And then we have the electrical panel. Here we have the batteries, the generator controls, external power is here. You can see that it's available. That means that the external power has been connected downstairs, and I'm having trouble getting this. Okay. And then we have the air panel where the packs are being controlled, the engine bleed and all that, the APU bleed. Then everything related with anti-ice, probe and window heat, cabin pressure is being accessed here. Then we have all the lights, external lights, interior lights. You can switch signs. Here is the APU panel. And then we go up again. Yeah, more reset breakers. Oh, sorry. And then we have the 3rd radio. A radio management panel and audio and control panel. Audio control panel. These are flight control computers. We have them on the other side as well. Oh, I missed them. Here we have the flight control panels. And cargo air conditioners, the name is saying, so you can also adjust the temperature here. Then in case of cargo smoke or fire, you can fight the fire here. Ventilation for the electric compartment, and if you have to do an engine manual start, you do it here. And of course the wiper on the right hand side. Okay, so this is a little bit dark. Let's put some light. So first of all, we do that before every flight when we take over the aircraft, just a check of the batteries. We have 2 main batteries and an APU battery, and the voltage should be around 26 volts, 26, 27, something like that. And you can check them here. So battery 1, 26.2, battery 2, 26.6, and the APU has 28 volts. Yeah, 28 is perfect. And you put them here, and then you can switch on the batteries. Here you can see we already have some light. So I switched on battery 1, 2, and the APU battery, and you can see the basic systems are being powered now. So this is interesting. You can see here the display units, the DUs, are being powered up. But this is not quite correct for the old version, for the EIS1, as the A340-300 has. Because this self-test is related to the newer ones, to the TFT DUs you can find in the Airbus A330 and A340-600. So basically, in this old system here, with CRT displays, you basically just switch them on, and sometimes it takes a while until the display management computers, the DMCs, are being powered up, and then you see a diagonal line. But as soon as they're working, you have an indication. So no test on this one. Sorry, Inibuilds. Anyway, let's see. Okay. You can see that we just have basic distribution of the electricity. So let's put on the ground power. We have two receptacles, A and B, and more lights, as you can see. So now the other screens, the other display units are being powered up as well. And as I said, this is not correct here. Anyway, it's just a minor thing. But I wanted to show you the electric distribution real quick. Can I have a look? Okay, here you can see the system pages. This is the engine and warning display. This is the system display. And this is basically what we are looking at when we are on the ground during this phase of flight. And here you can look at the DC electrical system. So here you can see battery 1, battery 2, and the respective power. Battery 1 is being charged right now by the DC battery bus. And here's the APU battery. These are so-called transformer rectifier units, which transform AC power into DC power. And that's it on this side. And here we have the page for the AC power. So here you can see external power A, external power B. They're feeding the AC buses. We have 4 of them. And then we have an essential bus, an AC essential bus. And this one is powering the so-called essential. Sorry, I'm getting lost in explanations. This is good for now, I guess. So here we have 4 generators, and that's all for now. Sorry, sometimes I get carried away. Alrighty, so let's see what the overhead panel has in stock for us. I'd like to test if all the switches are working. Oh, the reset breakers are not, apparently not. We don't need them in this flight simulation. This is the ELT switch I am not familiar with. That's a different system than we used, but it seems to be working. Nice. Okay, and testing. Oh, okay, this is good. This is good. Here we have cockpit door controls. This is different than what we have. This is the cockpit door video. Yeah, we had that on the pedestal. And here we have the ADIRSs. So we can switch them on. So I'm gonna put these on. You can see fault light at first. This is normal, and then on battery, because as long as they are powering up, the battery helps. And now it's off, and they are aligning, which you can see here. This is IR in alignment. Normally it takes a little bit more than 7 minutes if they have been powered down for a longer period of time. Okay, here we can test the APU. It's the APU fire test. We don't touch this, but I have to test the switches, of course. Okay, so the guard is not moving, but the switch is. Okay, this is okay. This is fine. We don't need the guard in a simulator. See, here the guard is working. Here it is not. Nice. Okay, so these are the inner tank splits. You need them in case of an engine failure. So I just leave it like that. This is the jettison system. Guards working. Okay, system working. We don't have any fuel pressure, so due to the fact that the tank pumps are still off. This is the evac system. We had that, but we didn't use it. We trained to evacuate by voice, so we didn't use this system. That's the emergency generator. Oh, look, this is working. Land recovery is working. Emergency generator, manual on, should be working. Terrain switch, system switch of the GPWS, the flap mode and glide slope mode. And recorder ground control is working. You switch that on the ground, so we just keep it like that. Oxygen for the passengers, nice, the guard is working, and cruise supply, you have to switch that on. So basically, what if you are planning to try this out, Airbus philosophy says all white lights out. So that's basically what you are switching at the beginning of your cockpit preparation. Okay, here you can call the mechanic downstairs, or if you want to call the purser, you push this one. And let's see if the windshield wiper is working. Ah, okay, nice. Very nice. Okay, let's continue here. Okay, these are the landing lights. Nose wheel. Seatbelt signs can switch on. So if you switch them on here, should be enunciated here. That's where you check them also. And no smoking signs to auto. Emergency exit lights arm. Here we have the compass light. Oh, the light is working. See? Nice. Interior light. Yeah, okay, you can see that. Storm light, bright and dim for the dome light. Enunciators. We can check the enunciators. Oh, this is nice. That's the Christmas tree, we call them. So all the lights are being lit. Also here on the pedestal. Yeah, that's nice. Always nice if you have passengers visiting the cockpit on the ground. You just switch them on and everybody's happy. Alright, this stays off, but let's see if this is working. Everything is working. Nice. Probe window heat. You can switch that on in icing conditions in the winter time. Oh, look, this is also working. This is working. This is working. Ditching push button. So in case you are preparing to ditch the aircraft on water, you have this ditching push button you can activate according to procedure, and then all the external holes get closed and hopefully the aircraft stays afloat. Alright, then we have ram air if you need to depressurize the aircraft in flight and get some air. Yeah, it's working as well. Pack. So this is the air conditioned system. We don't have any air at this point, so that's why the packs are faulty. This is pack flow, normal, low and high. This is temperature for the cockpit and cabin. You can, for the cabin, you can set a basic temperature and then the purser can adjust that in the cabin in different zones. Okay, engine bleed, hot air, APU bleed, everything is working, nice. Yeah, crossbleed selector. And here we have the electrical panel. So I showed you this already, AC essential feed, that's a switch you need in certain electrical failure situations. This is galley power, you can switch it off. And no coffee maker will work then if you switch one of these off. Bus tie generators can be switched off and on. Okay, this is interesting. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's good. Then you have the fuel panel. You switch on all the fuel pumps. You have a main pump and a standby pump in every tank. So in the center tank you just have these two pumps. This is cross feed. You can open those if you need to. according to procedure. Other than that, the system is operating automatically. So right after takeoff, you can see the crossfeeds open, but we don't do that now. Okay, this is hydraulic. This is remaining as it should. And of course, an engine fire test. We do that as well. All right. Okay, we checked the windshield wiper. This is engine manual start. Everything is working as it seems. I can't switch them on, can I? Ah, no, yeah. Okay, good. Ventilation, avionics, extract, override, cabin fans. This is just an annunciator. Sorry, yeah. If you have smoke, avionics smoke, there are smoke detectors. So then this is being displayed here. Of course, yeah. Sorry. So cargo smoke, you can arm and discharge a bottle, and this is going to be shown here if a bottle is discharged. So cargo cooling and temperature, that's the forward compartment, that's the aft, the bulk compartment. And flight control computers, yeah, we have 3 so-called prims, 1, 2, 3, and 2 SECs, SEC 1, SEC 2. That's what the A340 and the A330 as well has. This is the observer communication system. It's most of the time it's been set to data to enable data link communication, not as it was on our aircraft. But here you have the flight recorder. You can do a test as well. Oh, it's working. See the green LED. So this is working. Nice. Yeah, very, very nice so far. Good job, guys. Let's see what the other switches are offering us. Tiller disconnect is working. You have to press that if you want to test the rudder pedals on ground and don't want the nose gear to move. So you just press that, make your rudder test, rudder check, and then you can release it and steer the aircraft with this again on the ground, as I said. This is working. Brightness control. Yeah, very nice. I see. This is a nice feature, a very essential feature. So whenever this DU fails or you switch it off, the system says, wait a minute, the primary flight display is very important. You need that to fly the aircraft. So it automatically switches is to the other DU. And you can also do it like this. Okay, now it's doing the self-test again. Anyway, that leaves me time for the other switches. It's the foot warmer. Oh, yeah, a foot warmer is here, installed there. I mean, switch it off, console light, map light. Yeah, we cannot see that. I get back to that in a second. Loudspeaker is this one here. So yeah, now this one is working again, but you can see it's the wrong way around. So we have this little switch here, this little knob. You can push it and change the displays, and vice versa. All right, what else do we have? We have a stopwatch here. It's being displayed here. Working. Yeah, this is an annunciator. If you press the button here in flight, you have priority, and this is being shown here. Then we have the flight director switches on both sides. All right. Here you have a display for the QNH, local pressure. You can use the altimeter setting as in the US or the QNH. And can I? Ah, yeah, you can. Nice. All right. And if you push the button, should go to standard. Yeah, it does. And you pull it. Yeah, nice. Working. Okay, so here we have, let's see, we need to adjust the range a little bit. Here you can see VOR1 and VOR2. It's tuned to Fox Romeo Delta. That's a DME at Frankfurt Airport. GPS primary means the GPS is working, and it's the main means of navigation. Then you can display waypoints. Here you can see these are waypoints, stored waypoints in the vicinity. VORs that are in the database, NDBs, just one, and airports. Yeah. Normally we leave that to constrain during takeoff to see if we have any constraints on the departure route. So in this setting you have the VORs here, but you can switch them to ADF as well. Oops. Now, ADF1, ADF2. This is the normal ARC mode we use. You have a plan mode as well. If you are inserting your routing, you can check it in the plan mode. And you can also display the... Yeah, okay, it's in normally you can transfer the engine display to this screen as well, but this is not working apparently. Okay, let's check out the other modes. We have the navigation mode. Here you basically have a compass rose, and here you have a display of the ADFs 1 and 2, and you can switch them to VOR. So then you should have white needles for the VORs. Let's just quickly tune a VOR. Then I can show you how this is looking. Let's take Frankfurt, Foxtrot, Mike. That's the 114.2. And then you can see that's VOR1, which is here, Fox, Mike. The system identified it by itself. And this is the direction. And you can also see it here. That's the backup instrument. Okay, and we have a VOR needle as well. This is like an HSI. Now there you can see VOR1 is tuned to 114.2. That's Fox, Mike. The course we set is 0. And you can adjust that on the nav radio page. Here you can insert a course. Let's do 270. And there you have the 270. Anyway, we don't need that now. And last but not least, the ILS mode. You can also fly an ILS in that mode, but normally you don't use that. Then we have the autopilot panel. Let's see, speed marked, so that's indicated airspeed at its mark. This is working. The knobs should be working as well. Heading is working. Yeah, there you can see the heading bug on the navigation display. And you can switch between heading and track, or vertical speed and flight path angle. The autopilot engagement, auto thrust engagement. This is altitude hold. Here you can adjust the altitude. You can do that in steps of 100 feet or 1000. And nice, everything's working so far. I'm pretty pleased. And metric altitude, you can see on the down here on the PFD. This is metric altitude. We used to use that when flying to Russia, for instance. They use the metric system, and the Chinese also use metric system. Okay, vertical speed is working. Yeah, and this is basically the same, just for the co-pilot. First officer, my apologies. All right, where were we? Okay, this is the standby airspeed indicator, standby altimeter. Let's see if we can... you can also adjust the QNH here. That's nice. Terrain on ND. If you have an enhanced GPWS function, you can display terrain here. It doesn't show anything, but that might be related to the nav accuracy at this point. We check that later. And if you are crossing the Atlantic, you go to north reference, or if you're flying in polar regions. So the reference for the compass goes from magnetic to true. And depending on where you are and what the variation is, this is quite a difference. This can be quite a difference. Here we have ECAM switching. With DMC is the display management computer. So normally it's on auto, which means that DMC1 is supplying at least to the left side, but I can also take DMC2 or DMC3 if we have failures. And if I switch something here, you can see we got a memo message. Then I can also fetch this screen to my side or put it to the FO side if needed. So if this DU fails, you can switch it here to either side. This here is it working? I don't know. This is for data link communication. You basically answer any messages or can read messages, print them out through this. Here I have engine and warning display, system display, I already mentioned that. Here we have the gear panel. We have the auto brake, low, medium, maximum. And this is for anti-skid and nose wheel steering. If I switch this off, a message will come. So yeah, this is a caution message. Brakes, anti-skid, nose wheel steering off. That means on this old aircraft, maximum brake pressure 1000 psi. You can see the brake pressure here. It's at 3000 psi right now because the parking brake is set. But when you are having this fault and you're landing, you have to modulate the brake pressure to not exceed 1000 psi, which is here. So that's requires good crew coordination. This is the gear lever, and here we have the landing gear gravity extension in case the extension does not work with a lever. So you just put this up, then you have some safeties here. These are guarded and you have to confirm that, and then you put this down. And what we can do now, see? Yeah. Oops. And reset the system again. Okay, and here we have a few switches. You can see it's attitude heading. We can alter the source here. For air data, you can alter the source. Or for the flight management system, you can alter the source as well. And this is for audio, so captain can use the number 3 radio, or FO can use the number 3 radio. Okay, let me just clean this up. All right, and here we have the system. Let's go through the systems real quick. This is just brightness for the upper and for the lower display. Here we have the engine system display. So when you're on your way, you can see how much fuel every engine used. Here we have oil quantities in quarts. This is the oil pressure, oil temperature, and vibration of the N1, which is the large fan you can see when you look inside the engine. And this is the N2, which is located further inside the engine. And this is the nacelle temperature. So in case you have an engine fire or anything like that, or an overheat, then you can see an unusual temperature here. Here you have total air temperature. Here the gross weight is being displayed, and the gross weight CG, the center of gravity in percent. And let's get to the next page. A funny fact is, you see when I'm switching the screens, it's always saying please wait, and in the real aircraft it takes a lot longer to switch the pages. It's quite annoying sometimes. Anyway, here we have the bleed page. You have an overview of the bleed air system. So here basically engines 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have high pressure and intermediate pressure, which come from inside of the engines. Here you can see the temperature and the pressure if we have any. And then we have a regulator valve, temperatures again, and here it goes into the manifold to be distributed into the cabin. So these are basically the packs, the air conditioning system. And maybe you remember the little switch I pushed on earlier, the ram air. So this is the valve for the ram air, and it distributes air coming from outside to this manifold. And here we can connect ground air as well, and APU air, of course, as well, if the APU is running. Here's the pressure system, cabin pressure, landing elevation is on auto now at 0 because we don't have no destination in the flight management system. Then we have delta pressure, that's the pressure differential from inside the cabin and outside. Then the cabin vertical speed, so if it's climbing or if it's descending, and the absolute cabin altitude. And you can see here these are the outflow valves I showed you in part 1 as well. And as Frankfurt is located at an elevation of 350 feet, with fully opened outflow valves, the cabin pressure equals the outside air pressure, so 350 feet cabin altitude. Pack 1 and Pack 2 are off at the moment, so that's why they are amber. We have a vent extract, which is basically air being sent overboard from the electrical compartment. And we have a safety valve here, so if we have overpressure, this one opens. Then we've already seen that. That's the electrical page for the AC system, and here for the DC system with the batteries. And then we have the hydraulic page. So we have 4 engines, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 3 hydraulic systems, green, blue, and yellow. Pressure is 0 at the moment because the engines are not running. And you can see here is the RAT, the ram air turbine, which pressurizes the green system. It's the most important thing. And here we have the reservoirs for the hydraulic fluids, all in good ranges. Yeah, that's about it. Then, okay, this is not working. Here we have a page that shows us circuit breakers if they are popped. And if we have a circuit breaker that's not in anymore, the name of the circuit breaker and its function is being shown here. Here we have the APU page. If it's running, you can see the what is it called? The speed of the rotator and the exhaust gas temperature and bleed pressure. Here we have the condition page. It shows us all the temperatures, temperature in the cockpit, forward, mid, and aft cabin. These are the temperatures of the zone controllers. Hot air 1 and 2 are being shown here, being distributed to all the zones. You see hot air 2 is going into this zone, and into the flight deck. And this one as well, sorry. And hot air 1 is going here, here, and there. Then we have the forward cargo compartment and the respective temperature regulation. And we have the bulk compartment with the temperature regulation here. Then we have the door page. You can see all the doors can be opened. That's the E&E compartment, door 1 left and 1 right, forward cargo. Door 2 left and right. These are the overwing exits. Door 3 left and right. This is the aft cargo compartment. This is the bulk cargo compartment. And door 4 left and 4 right. And the cockpit oxygen. So 1880 psi is quite good. If this goes below a certain value, it turns amber, and we have tables to check. And if it's not enough, it has to be refilled, which is done by maintenance. Then we have a wheel page. These are the spoilers, the ground spoilers. So you might ask yourself, why are the spoilers shown on the wheel page? Well, after landing, this is the page that's being displayed because you want to have an overview of the wheels, of the landing gear. And after touchdown, the ground spoilers should go up, and you can see it and check it here. That's the task for the pilot monitoring after landing. Then you can see the gear doors here. These are open, of course. These are the so-called 𝐔𝐘𝐒s, landing gear control and interface units. We have 2 of them. Both are working. And green triangles mean gear is down and locked, which is displayed here as well on the gear panel. Then we have, this is the nose gear with the tire pressure. This is the center gear with its tire pressure. And here we have the main gears left and right with the four tires. And you can see the brake temperature of every tire and the tire pressure. Yep. Flight control page. Here you have an overview of the spoilers again. And this refers to the hydraulic system, green, blue, and yellow. Here you have the left ailerons, the right. These are the flight control computers, pitch trim, rudder. Here, this is the rudder. This is an indicator for the rudder trim. Left and right elevator. As we have no hydraulic pressure, all the flight control surfaces are hanging down. And this is the fuel system. For engines, of course, we have outer tanks. These are empty at this time. We have the inner tanks. 4,000 kilograms here, 4,000 kilograms here. And this is the center tank, and here we have a tail tank as well. And these are the tank pumps. So 2 for each tank. Well, to be precise, these are 4 for each tank, because the inner tank is one large tank, but we have compartments here. These are the so-called collector cells. They are pre-filled with about a ton of fuel, and this feeds directly into the engines. And also you can see the fuel used here, and fuel on board, of course. All right, what else do we have? Let's see if this is a neat switch. See if this is working. So if I go on to the engine display and just press here, it's working. Nice. I go through all the pages and I don't have to push the respective ones all by themselves. I just can go through them here. That's nice. This is the status display. So basically, if you have this little Q here, this is the status Q, you know, oh, something is being shown on the status display, and then you can push this button and you can see the status display. And here we have in-up systems, so we can omit that. So if we have any cautions here, like let's say we have the brakes, anti-skid, nose steering switch off caution, and I would clear this, the system automatically displays the status display, and under inoperative systems you can see nose wheel steering because it's switched off. But if it would have a failure, it would be here. And then I close the status, and if I want to know what the message was, I just go to recall, and there is the message again. But we switch it off, switch it on again. So this is working. All right, this looks quite good. Let's see. This is the standby horizon, which looks a bit awkward. We can cage that. Perfect. This looks better. Okay, what do we have here? We checked out this here. I would say we go into details of the flight management system in the next session. But just real quick, see if all the pages are working. Oh, this looks familiar. Okay. ATC.COM. Okay, this looks different than I'm used to, but anyway, as well as this one. FM1, ATSU. Okay, this is maintenance stuff. This is for data link communication as well. And this is the flight management part we need to fly the aircraft. Airport. Okay. Yeah, we get into that in the next part. I'm going to take you through the procedure, how to program that. All right, here we have the radios, VHF1, VHF2, VHF3 is on data. We've seen that on the overhead panel. Let's tune the emergency frequency to VHF2. Yeah, nice, working nicely. Okay. This is HF system. Okay, this is not working. Normally you should be able to insert frequencies here as well. And this is the modulation. Okay, this is not working. Anyway, this is the standby navigation. You can switch that on. Ah, cool. They already implement that. So you might remember a few minutes ago I tuned Frankfurt on VOR 1. And now on the standby system, I pushed on VOR, and this is what I tuned. 114.2 with the cost 270. And if your flight management system does not work anymore and you want to tune nav-aids, you do it here. Same goes for the landing system. You can insert the frequency and the inbound course. Can tune the ADFs. This is very nice. And here, both being switched off if I use this one. Okay, does it work here as well? No, here it just switches off the right side. Okay, nice. So it's just the panel being switched off. So if you want to be heard and hear, you need this one. So this is to transmit on VHF 1. And of course I need to activate, I need to activate this one in order to hear something. VHF 2, VHF 3, HF, internal. If you want to talk to the cabin, I have to take it this way. Here you can, if you are going to fly an ILS, you can check the Morse code via audio or a marker. And here we have the satellite communication system. But I think it's not working. Let's see. It should be here. Yeah, normally you would have a SATCOM menu to it's not working. Okay, normally you can dial in numbers there and use the SATCOM system. And this is PA. You can do announcement here by pushing this one. And if you get a call from, let's say, from the cabin, there is a sound, and then you can reset the sound by this one here. Here you can listen to VOR and ADF that are tuned, and of course here, if you are using the SATCOM, you can tune this and the PA to listen to what they are saying. Okay, what else do we have? This is the weather radar panel. We have the predictive wind shear system. This should be in auto. Here have the antenna tilt. It's normally 4 to 5 degrees up. And weather radar and turbulence mode, system 1 and 2. Or let's see, system 1. You normally don't switch that on the ground because it radiates quite strongly. Okay, here you can see weather radar is on, tilt is +4 degrees. How do we switch that off? And predictive wind shear system is not being shown. Normally, later when the engines are running, it's an amber message here if you don't switch it on. But at this point, nothing is working. Ground clutter suppression is when you are scanning with a weather radar close to the ground. Sometimes you get ground echoes, and you can filter them with this switch at least a little bit. And this is to calibrate the sensitivity of the weather radar. Okay, ground spoilers. Why are they armed? You can arm them, you can retract them, and of course you can move them somehow. Yeah. Okay, nice. Parking brake off, on. And this is the cockpit door. Lock, normal, unlock. Video? Oh, okay, they have the video here. We used to have our electronic flight bags here, and the video system going either through there or here. It was depending on the aircraft. We had different systems there. The third MCDU is not working. Too bad. Then we have the printer is not working. Yeah, you don't need that in the flight simulator. Engine start, crank, normal, ignition start. And here we have engine master switches, the thrust levers, and reverse thrust. This is working as well, pitch trim. You need that to set this on the ground. And in the air, it normally does it automatically. Flap system working, and here we have the transponder. Auto 1 and 2, nice altitude reporting off and on. Here you can, you have to, if you want to insert a new transponder code, you have to clear this one. You press this one 2 times and then you can insert a different one. This is for the TCAS system, traffic collision and avoidance system. Above, below, all, thread. Yeah, it goes too far if I would explain that right now. And this activates it. It's TA only, the traffic advisories only, and this is traffic advisory and resolution advisories. You normally have this here to get the full benefit of the system. But we normally switch that on when entering the runway. Okay, floodlights, we don't need this one. This is the digital flight data recorder. You can mark an event if there was something. You can mark it here. And I would say, oh yeah, almost forgot. Rudder trim. Left, right, reset. This is not working because we don't have any hydraulic power at the moment. Well, guys, so far, I must say this looks very promising. Seems to be very well programmed, and I'm very eager to test this out on an actual flight. So my suggestion would be I leave this so far. This has been a lot of information right now, and maybe most of you already quit the video, but thanks to all of you still with me. So again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm always happy to read comments. And of course, I'm also happy if you like the video, so please don't forget to leave a like. It absolutely helps the algorithm to show these videos. And I'm very eager for the next part. So part 3 will be my plan to initiate the flight. So we are going to program the FMS. We are going to start the engines. And maybe if that doesn't take too long for that part, we will see if we can do a short flight with the Airbus as well. Okay, so that's it for now. It has been quite a while. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for your interest. Again, thanks for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you have anything you would like to have explained or anything you want me to show again, just also leave it in the comments and I see to it. That's about it for now. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening and I see you in part 3.